Hello, everybody, and welcome to our What's New in AutoCAD 2022 webinar. My name is Alan Biermacher, and I'm the Customer Success Manager here at Digital Drafting Systems. And we're very excited to have you to talk about what's new in the world of AutoCAD. James, can we jump over to the next page? Perfect. So just to go over some logistics, all attendees will be muted during the presentation. And we'd like for you guys, throughout the presentation, as you come up with some questions, please go ahead and send those over via the chat box or the question box so that we can answer them towards the end of the presentation. Our webcast will be recorded for future viewing, and you will receive a link to view the webinar after this webinar concludes. Additionally, for those of you who do need AIA credit for this, please submit your AIA number via the chat box in order to receive that CEU. For those attending the webinar today. So please submit that either via the chat box or through email at info@ddscad.com throughout or after the presentation today. And lastly, any questions, anything like that, you can always give us a call, 305-445-6480, or email us at info@ddscad.com. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to James, who's going to talk to us all about AutoCAD 2022. James, take it away.
Thank you, Alan, for a very nice introduction. I am Jim Cuervo, Senior Instructor here at Digital Drafting Systems. Today, I'm going to cover three key components of what's new in AutoCAD 2022. First, I will share how you can work faster with new CAD automations and how to the specialized tool sets speed work by automating tasks so you can focus on what's important. Second, I will discuss the AutoCAD web and mobile apps that give the freedom and flexibility to connect to DWG files anytime, anywhere, on any device. Third, I will dive into some of the new features and functionalities you get with AutoCAD 2022 and how they improve your workflows. Let's start with CAD automations. Within the implementation of AutoCAD's industry-specific toolsets and their continuing enhancement, Autodesk is able to improve automation. In today's world, it's more important than ever to work smarter and faster. With AutoCAD 2022 subscription, you can gain access to 7 specialized toolsets with industry-specific functionality, giving you the ability to work faster and be more efficient across disciplines. It is also about having the right AutoCAD for the job. The toolsets have hundreds of thousands of intelligent parts, symbols, and features, and they automate creation of annotations, layers, and properties, and automate tasks like generating bill of materials to speed up work. You can take advantage of the toolsets while working in the familiar Autodesk or AutoCAD interface. Now let's take a look at some of the seamless connections in AutoCAD. AutoCAD and AutoCAD LT subscriptions include the AutoCAD web and mobile apps, which provide quick and easy access to CAD drawings on any device. Our apps make it possible to continue to design and draft with the most up-to-date files while in the field, at home, and on the go. Whether you use AutoCAD for Windows, Mac, web, or a mobile device, be it in an iPad, iPhone, or Android device, we have the right AutoCAD for you. You can enjoy a cohesive experience across various platforms and connect to your DWG files wherever you go. Let's take a closer look. The newest addition to the AutoCAD family of products, the AutoCAD web app, gives the ability to quickly create, edit the latest drawings from any computer. Now you can mark up a shared drawing directly in the app. It's AutoCAD on the cloud, and it is now available in the same 14 languages as AutoCAD. You can also now upload drawing templates, plot styles, and other support files to create DWGs that better meet your company standards. The web app runs in a web browser with no software installed needed. Simply visit web.autodesk.com, sign in, and start working. In addition to the web app, the AutoCAD mobile app lets you extend your workflows from the office to the job site and anywhere in between. With the app, get core desktop AutoCAD tools as well as mobile-only features that let you add laser measurements to DWG files and use the AutoCAD commands you're used to using. Get precise drafting capabilities with the app's advanced touch technology. With the AutoCAD web and mobile apps, you can take advantage of seamless connections and work in new ways across platforms. You can also connect to your files in the cloud. Last year, we announced our partnership with Google Drive, which expanded the options. And we have great news this year. This year, we have added Autodesk Drive and Autodesk Docs connections to the AutoCAD web app, so you can conveniently connect to your files within Autodesk. Autodesk Drive is available with all subscriptions, and it stores design files such as 2D drawings. Autodesk Docs is a cloud-based document management and common data environment available in the AEC collections. With these new integrations, you can take advantage of anytime access to any DWG within AutoCAD. To summarize, the key benefits of AutoCAD web and mobile apps includes increased ability throughout multi-platform workflows, improve collaboration with new workflows and in-app features, the ability to connect to DWG files anytime, anywhere, and essentially drafting tools with the precision, consistency, and fidelity that you've come to expect from AutoCAD. With AutoCAD and the state-of-the-art webs and mobile apps, wherever you go, you can have a peace of mind that AutoCAD will be there. To conclude, let's dive into the innovative new features and enhancements that have been added to the AutoCAD 2022. The new features and functionality let you drive design forward and use AutoCAD to streamline drawing review cycles, improve your collaboration process, reduce human errors with automation, and more. All of these new features are also included with a subscription to your AutoCAD LT. As enhancements, AutoCAD 2022 offers a faster and customizable installation, letting you even work in AutoCAD while the program is being installed. You can enjoy improved graphics performances and redesign Start tab that allows you to easily access files and other helpful content directly from your home screen. Why don't we take a look at the new home screen? In this particular case, we're looking at the AutoCAD desktop app or desktop application. As you can see, it's very similar to the new Revit welcome splash, where you have your open and new here on the left side, and then you have your recent and Autodesk Docs access on just below that. You also have access to learning, and below that you have access to community, what's new, customer support, AutoCAD mobile app, and AutoCAD web app. If we move over to the right side, we have the announcements section right here, which can be minimized or expanded or downright closed. You are connected to this particular account, which is where you're getting your software from, access from. And you have your improve our products feed line right here. Okay, in the middle, we have our recent drawings or drawing history. You will notice that you have this little icon here on the side, which allows you to understand whether the drawing is cloud-based or it is PC-based, or in other words, it's in your hard drive. You will also notice these three little buttons here, which allow you to open or open as read-only options here. And you have a pin button that allows you to pin the particular drawing up. With that, we have seen a little bit of the improvements that we have made to the startup page of the AutoCAD. We heard from customers who wanted a way to view and edit multiple drawings at the same time with a single instance of AutoCAD. And this year, with the new floating windows, you can. Floating windows lets you pull away drawing tabs and view them as fully functional windows side by side or on multiple monitors. This lets you view and edit multiple drawings at the same time in the same instance of AutoCAD. Let's take a look. In this case, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and open this drawing here. Okay, it's loading up. And we shall go ahead and come back to the starting button or starting tab here. And let's go ahead and open up this one, push to docs. Okay, it is as easy as moving these items is as easy as doing it in Revit, which you come in here to the tab, you left button press and hold, and you pull. And so now you have a fully functioning window. Okay, in this particular window that can be changed in size, it can be moved to another monitor, or it can be downright closed. And so with that, sorry, press the wrong button, that's maximize. With that, we have seen how both of them open. Now, the advantage of this previous to the way it was done before, which you opened up 2 instances of AutoCAD, is that within both drawings, you're actually using a single interface. You don't have to keep switching back and forth between interfaces. Okay, let's move on. With push to docs, to Autodesk Docs, you can improve efficiency and reduce steps by publishing your CAD drawing sheets as PDFs directly from AutoCAD to your Autodesk Docs. You no longer need to save PDFs locally, open a web browser, and upload the sheets to the cloud. It streamlines workflows within Autodesk. Plus, you can now access your DWG files in Autodesk Docs anywhere with the AutoCAD web app. At the moment, you have access to AutoCAD Docs via AEC Collection, BIM Collaborate, and BIM Collaborate Pro. Let's go ahead and take a look at the push to docs. Now, in this particular case, let me close this one. We'll see what this does later. And we have this particular sheet, but we want to push not just this sheet, but all of my tabs that are representing my sheets up to my desktop or Autodesk Docs. For that, I go over to Manage. I go to Collaborate. And in Collaborate, you go to Push to Autodesk Docs right here, which is under the Autodesk Docs. By selecting this, it will automatically open up a listing of all of the tabs that you have here in Paperspace as PDF or as possible PDFs. In this particular case, I have not selected the whole set. I just selected a few representing my site work, which is this one, and 1, 2, 3, 4 elevations. Can I add to this list? Absolutely. You can add to this list from outside drawings by using the Add Sheets, which allows you to go ahead and select the sheet set. It will automatically read the paper spaces and list them for you so you can select them or deselect them. You can also subtract from the list by removing them in here. And you can then set it up as a saved sheet list. Notice that in this particular, it's a set, but I don't have the full set. I just have a list of them. So this can be a list on its own, and I can then download that. Now that I've got some selected, let's see how this actually pushes it up to the Autodesk Docs. If I do upload sheets, it goes ahead and looks at the web, and it tells me what projects I'm associated with and allows me to select the project that I'm going to go and deposit these PDFs in. In this case, we're going to stay with the AutoCAD 2022 webinar. And I do have to tell you, you must have a folder set up inside that particular Autodesk desktop or Autodesk Docs folder project. You have to have a folder in which to deposit them. I went ahead and created this PDFs folder so I can go ahead and select it. You'll notice that right now, because I have no folder selected, you would think it would allow you to put it into your root directory, but it doesn't because the OK is not available, as you can see. But the moment I go ahead and choose a folder inside my project, the OK becomes available. I go ahead and select OK to go ahead and print those. And within seconds, boom, they're printed. It's telling me you can open the browser to view the uploaded documents in Autodesk Docs. Let's go ahead and do that and see what happens. It automatically opens up a web browser, takes you to your account, takes you to your project, takes you to the folder, and then notice what's happening here. It's not uploading, it's not updating these versions yet. Give it a second, it'll actually go ahead and upload. And all of these numbers will change, okay, to whatever versions you want, or you are most current. In this particular case, is version 3. I haven't made any changes, so it's leaving it as that. Very well. It'll show you not only the name of the document, it shows you the version, the description, whether it's got markups or not, its size, when it was last updated, and who updated it, just like it does in regular Autodesk desktops docs browser for Revit or any Navisworks or any kind of files that this particular interface will support. You'll notice that it's changing right now all of my versions because it's now updating all of that, the fact that they're new and they're there. I can delete them by selecting them here and delete, okay? And I can do a few other things right through here. I would very much encourage you to go ahead and explore your docs, your Autodesk docs, because it's a very useful tool for any of us working in group configurations. Let's go ahead and minimize this for now. Okay, and let's take a look at something else. Share is another new feature that enhances collaboration. With Share, you can collaborate securely by sending controlled copies of your drawings to your teams and colleagues. Now, the key word here is controlled copies. You can establish different levels of access, we will see that in a moment, to those who are view only and those who can edit. And you can generate shared links that open directly in the AutoCAD web app. That's yet another key phrase right there, open in the AutoCAD web app. So your team and colleagues can review and edit wherever they are. They can also share directly from the AutoCAD web app. With both Trace and Share, you get multi-platform workflows that make collaboration more accurate, secure, and efficient. Let's take a look at this. Okay, since we're here, let's go ahead and close the push to docs here. And we will find Share once again in the Collaborate, also up in the quick access bar, Collaborate right here. Both of them open up a dialog box that will ask you two questions, which are, give it a couple seconds, bum, 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 and it's coming up. The one option or question is it a view only or is it an edit and save as copy? In other words, you have permission to edit it and save it. Do you want to preview it? Do you want to copy the link so you can then paste it onto an email that you sent to the appropriate recipients? All of these are options here. The option that we're going to continue with right now is this one. And I want you to see what happens. This is a link at a very specific place on the web that belongs to Autodesk that has been assigned to your accounts. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on that. And what it'll do, it'll automatically go to the web.com, automatically launch the web app, and go ahead and do all the necessary transmittals for you to be able to see your drawing properly on the web. Okay, it's just going to take a little bit. There are no smokes and mirrors. This is all done real time. So at this moment, just to see what's happening, if you have any questions, I would like to take maybe one or two. Alan, do we have any?
Okay, give me 1 second. Yes, okay, I have one. What happens to XREFs and font files when you share?
That's really a good question, and I'm glad that it was asked because you have to look at the sharing drawings like eTransmit. Now, what does eTransmit do? What it does is it takes your drawing, it collects your pen sizes, it collects your fonts, it collects all of your XREFs, right? It puts them in a packet and sends them over, right? Well, this is exactly what this share is doing. It's actually doing all of that and sending them over. Okay, sometimes when it can't find something, it will tell you, I can't find something, such as what's happening right here. And ladies and gentlemen, this is your new AutoCAD web app as it is right now. Now, this is not the welcome splash. We'll see the welcome splash a little bit later on, but what I do want you to see is that you have abbreviated tabs here. Okay, the properties tab is abbreviated, although it does tell you quite a bit about what's happening here. In this particular case, just like in AutoCAD, when you have nothing selected, it's actually giving you the properties of the view. In this particular case, this particular view, which is a plot view, is missing this CTB here. Okay, it's because it couldn't find it. It wasn't in my computer. It's actually something that I use for samples, but I just erased it sometime. You'll also notice that it's giving you the paper size and it's giving you the orientation of the sheet. It also gives you very quick properties like what layer it's on, the colors and all that other stuff. We are very familiar with this because it's very similar to the properties dialog box from AutoCAD. Continuing on, we go to the layers. Once again, this is an abbreviated form. It lists you the layers that are here in the drawing. It goes ahead and gives you the ability to select whether it's locked or off. Okay, and gives you the ability to create a new layer. Tells you that the current layer A furniture can have line time continuous, could be changed, line width can be changed. This is, like I said, this is an abbreviated properties of layers or layer properties dialog box. If you want to create a layer, all you have to do is hit on the button here, new layer, and then create a new layer. I'm going to go ahead and start moving towards the trace. So let's go ahead and say tracings here, and let's give it a color, red. Okay, and let's go ahead and make it the current layer, which is done through this little portion right here. Let's look for tracings. There it is, and that is now my current layer. There we go. Very well. This section in here is your undos and redos and your view navigational buttons. Let me close this. Up here is your save as, your print, your settings, and who is actually has access right now in this session, who's in charge of the session, which is myself right here. You have, look at this, an open in desktop. So I can actually tell this program here to open the desktop app. We're going to do that in a few moments. First, let's continue on. Down on this side, continuing clockwise, you have the ability to add or subtract some of the drawing controls here. You can turn them on or off. Look at your options right here. These are your paper spaces and model space, okay? And in this section, then you have your draw, very abbreviated, annotate, abbreviated, and modify, all abbreviated. If I actually wanted to now create a trace of this, which is what we really want to take a look at now, we will go ahead and show tracing, okay? First, let's take a look and see what tracing really does for us. Trace is an exciting new multi-platform feature to streamline new review process and enhance collaborations. You and your collaborators can safely mark up DWG files without altering their existing drawings. Your collaborators can create a trace in the AutoCAD web and mobile apps and mark up their design changes. Then you can open up the trace in AutoCAD, view the feedback in context, and incorporate changes there. There is no need for red pens or drafting dots. So let's take a look and see how that's done, since we're all already on the web app. So here in the web app, I had told you that we had this little tab right here for traces. Let's go ahead and select traces. Now in this section in here is where you come in and say, I'm going to create a new trace. It automatically places the new trace here, extracts who it is in fact generating the trace, which is myself, gives it my name and time. Okay, if I want another trace, I say new trace. In this case, this is the current trace. This is where I am. Any information that I place in here will be placed on this trace 1. You will see a bit of a hazy looking viewport right here. Think of that as having you remember in the old days when we used to draft by hand the onion paper? Think of that as an onion paper kind of effect, where you're actually laying a piece of tracing on top of your drawing and you actually mark up that piece of paper that you can then come back later and overlay it, and then it'll be shown properly. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and say that, for example, we are looking at this trellis right here, and we want to say that we want to add some foliage to this, not trellis, sorry, pergola. So we go to annotate. In annotate, we select the revision cloud. We see that the revision cloud is giving me a 3 7/8 size, which is not really what I want. I want to change that length. It's too big because we're in paper space. It would be something like an arc from here to here. That's tremendously large. So let's go ahead and change that by going to arc length here in the command prompt. Then we'll say that this arc length is 0.5 inches and say enter. Once we do that, we go ahead and create our revision cloud here, and you can see nicely shaped. Now we're going to go ahead and annotate this flagging by selecting multiple leader, coming in here and saying it's from here to here. This piece right here will allow you to change the size. Taking into consideration that I'm in paper space, I will use actual rather than scaled size. The actual would be 3/32. Don't need to put inches because I don't know what the measuring tools are set to it here. So I'll just leave it at 3/32. Hit the enter key and come back up here and go ahead and make my annotation. Let's add some plants here at the pergola. Okay, got the E here. Obviously, it's giving me spell checks, separated, click outside, and there is my text all done. So at this point, I am done with my trace. I've marked up what I needed to mark up, and now I come over here and say I'm finished, done. Okay, now it doesn't seem like it's there, but it is. In fact, it is, because you can't see it unless you invoke it. You see that? You have to invoke the trace here in the desktop app. But let's go one step further, or rather on the web app. Let's go one step further and open it in the desktop app. Now, let me just make sure that that something's happening here. Yes, and in fact, I have something happening in AutoCAD right now at the desktop. So I want to go ahead and do it anyway. Go ahead and open the desktop app, and I want you to see why I'm doing that. First, I need to save it as. So I go save as. Okay, this is telling me where it's going to place my new document. It's going to place it at the AutoCAD Web Mobile. Okay, this is where it's placing it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add a suffix to this, which is going to be Jim's tracing. Let's go ahead and add with Jim's tracing. Okay, and let's go ahead and save it. Right, so now that it's saved, okay, give it a second. It's going to go ahead and move things around. While this is happening, do we have any more questions, Alan?
Well, I did have one more, but it looks like you're good to keep going, so we'll save it for later.
Shoot it to me. We have a little time.
All right, so what is the laser measuring that you mentioned with the AutoCAD app on mobile?
Okay. Oh, that is a new feature. You can actually get some laser measuring devices, some like the Leicas and stuff like that, that connect via USB to your phone. Okay, so once it's connected to your phone, the phone will automatically read that it's got a measuring tool in it, and it connects that way. So it's a USB base. It's not that it's a program that is added to the CAD. It's actually connecting to a device that is exterior to it. That's how that's done. Okay, continuing on. Now that we've got this move in this particular fashion, we're going to say open it on desktop. Remember, I showed you that I have something happening on the desktop, and it's not going to open it. Okay, it gives me this. It asks me to open up the desktop. I go to open up desktop, but it's stuck because I'm still in a command here. Remember, you have to close the command, and look at that. As soon as you close the command, here it is. Now we want to see the trace because you can't see it, right? It's very simple. In Collaborate, Traces, Trace Palette, there it is. Select it, There is the tracing, select it. Let's try to explode it. Can't do. The only one who can actually modify this, and it's got to be modified in the desktop, in the web app, or in the mobile app, is the owner. Okay? He's the only one who can delete it, modify it, whatever. It's the owner. Nobody else can do that. It actually, it's a good thing because it makes sure that we have some sort of accountability happening here. Okay? The other thing that I want you to show is that you've been noticing this since 2019, these little control kind of thingy-majiggies up here. Well, it's important because this is being incorporated a lot. And in this particular case, I can actually take the hazing off by saying, move it to the back. Okay, it doesn't want to do it. 1 second, let's go. It's because I'm in the middle of a command, that's why. And do that, and there it is. Okay, so it doesn't mean that it's not there. It's still there. It's just that we took that onion paper off. Okay, I cannot do anything to this at all. It tells me who created it. Okay, what date? All the relevant information for the moment of creation of this particular tracing. So with that, we've got tracing. Let's move forward. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on web app. I wanted to actually show you guys what the new interface coming in looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and close this for now. Okay, and I'm going to open up a new Autodesk web app, sign into it. Okay, so I can get the welcome splash. There we go. Excellent. This is exactly what I wanted you to see. Okay, in this case, the Autodesk web app will go directly into the web app, and it gives you the history of all of the files that you've got in there. Okay, in this particular case, this push to docs is here. Can we actually move them from here? Absolutely. The answer is yes. If I select one, I can then look at that. I can download it, I can delete it, I can duplicate it, I can rename it, I can do a few things with it. So it doesn't mean that because you save it to the web app and you really have no way of understanding or knowing where that is, that you're stuck with it there. You can actually download it. Further, in this section in here, you can add some of your storage providers. In this case, we have Autodesk Docs already there. But I also have access to my Autodesk Drive, which is this one. So let's go ahead and add one of my cloud locations, this one right here. It'll go ahead and sign me in, and it'll show me what is in the Desk Drive app right there. Okay. I wanted you to see this particular section because I want you to realize that there's very little difference other than the abbreviation of some of the commands that are available as far as accessibility in your AutoCAD web as opposed to your desktop AutoCAD. Continuing on. That was Trace. The next feature lets you save time and reduce errors. Count automates the counting of blocks or geometry. It cuts down on manual counting, helping to avoid miscounting parts and other ordering of incorrect quantities of parts. You can export your data to a dynamic table and get updates quickly. It's another example of how AutoCAD leverages automations to enhance your workflow. Let's take a look. In this particular case, let's say that in this drawing, let's go ahead and close all this other stuff. Let's go back to the model space. We have a couple of views of the same structure. And let's go ahead into count, which would be found in under view, here in palettes, count. It automatically looks into the drawing and gives you a listing of the blocks inside the drawing, whether they are only the ones that are physically in, rather. If they are in memory, they won't show them, only the physical ones. Okay, basically the ones that have been inserted rather than imported. Okay, it'll tell you the name of the particular block and its quantities. It will also tell you when there is some attention items that you need to actually go ahead and take a look at. For example, let's take a look at the plants here. This got a little asterisk indicating warning. We select the warning sign, and the warning sign automatically does a couple of things. It lists, these are the blocks that have the warnings. The warning is renamed block. If it's an exploded block, it'll also show exploded block, etc., etc. It's telling you that the name of the particular block, A plants, there's 15 of them, okay, or A plant 15 rather, okay. If I go ahead and select one of these here, it will actually zoom me into it. See that? So this helps you become more focused on the specific error block that is showing. If I go back here, okay, I can do much more than that. Let's say, for example, I got this one here, all right, and let's say which ones. Let's make sure that we know exactly which one is. Let's go ahead and choose three-seater small sofa, okay, which is that one. Okay, you'll notice that there's three of them, two of them right there, one here and one there, and there are no warnings. Let's go ahead and delete one. Watch here. Automatically changes. You see that? If I undo it, it goes back to what it was. You see that? Very, very efficient. This is a very nice way of doing things. Also, in here, if I select this one here and I go move back and forth, it'll take me to the next one that is been highlighted in the grouping here, just like you would in drawing history or in XREF Compare. We've all seen those features in the AutoCAD 2020 and 2019. This is very similar to that. The only difference really, other than these things being a little more less items in here, is this one right here. Now what this does, by selecting that, it's going to take the amount of, or the number, the 2, that these blocks have inside the drawing. So it's got 2 blocks of cedar small sofa, 3 of them. There's got to be another one around here somewhere. Oh, 2 of them, sorry, that's number 3. And it's going to go ahead and cycle. We know that, right? But now when I hit this, it's going to take the number and it's going to allow me to place it. Now, the way to actually use this is if you have an existing table, rather than fill fields, or rather insert field into a table, you can go ahead and directly input the field this way without having to go through that other dialog box for tables. This is a little shorter, and you can place it where you want. If you decide to go ahead and change the count, notice that the count changed here on the dialog box, but it didn't change in the actual marker. I have to do a regen in order for it to update, okay? If I do an undo, it will be the same story. Okay, even though it's back, the number hasn't changed because I need to do a regen. Okay, very well. Oh, it did. No, I didn't catch it, but you would have to do a regen. It's always better to do that. Let's go ahead and close this section out, and let's take a look at this, the following part, which is, let's go ahead and also delete that. And the next section is to insert a table based on whatever is here. Let's go ahead and say insert table. Automatically, it tells me, okay, we're going to insert a table of all of these blocks. Which ones do you want to be added to the table? Well, let's stay with sofas. So we'll get 4-seater, 2-seater, this one right here, the small sofa, the 2-seater sofa, this one here. I don't think this is a sofa, so we're going to skip it and select that one. Once I have them all selected, I go and say insert. And here is my table. I'm going to place it right here. Okay, and there is my table. So now this table, I can actually come in here, right? And let's say, let's go back to this one. And where is it? Right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and erase this one, which let's take a look at what it is. This is the 2-seater sofa. Let's go ahead and delete that, delete this. And you notice that the 2-seater sofa is gone, right? But it's not gone from here. The reason why is because we have to do a regen. See that? You must do a regen for this one to update also, okay? Unlike the one with the table where you actually have to go in and update the actual field. Okay. If we come over here to the site plan, okay, let's go ahead and finish with the counting thingy, and there is my table. If I do an undo, okay, it's back in. Let's go back to the site plan, and there it is. Very well. With that, we have reached the end of our demonstration. Thank you very much for coming. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I open the floor up to Alan for questions and answers. Alan, take it away.
All right. So actually go back one slide for us, Jim, before we get there. Let's take a look. Okay, can you move shared files after you have shared them?
Yes, actually, I showed that a little bit, but we'll go back and show it again.
And while we jump back, anybody else who has any other questions or anything, please do send those over in the questions box. And again, for those of you who need your AIA credits, definitely submit your name and AIA number in the questions box, as well as to info@ddscad.com to make sure you receive those credits. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, let's take a look and see what's going on here. This is actually where I want to be. Okay, this is the desktop Autodesk web app. Okay, if I select this one, for example, let me just get rid of it from here because this is the shared file. I just want to close it, save changes, no, and let's go back to where we were before. It's loading it up a little bit. Okay, blah blah blah. And let's go ahead and actually let's go back one. And this is where I want to be. Okay, if I actually come in here, if I select here, it'll open it up automatically. But if I select here, I have selected it. I'm not opening it. Okay, and in this case, I can go ahead and rename it. I can move it. I can duplicate it. I can delete it, or I can download it. And this is true from any one of these, okay? This is the way to actually move your AutoCAD web mobile apps from the mobile. That brings me to another point. There is a limit to the amount, the size of the file that you will be sharing. It's a 50 megabyte limit, okay, with a total combined of 200 megabytes at the max. So it's a good idea if you're working with the AutoCAD web and mobile to keep this as empty as possible. Because remember, if it's actually treating it like an external, like an e-transmit, it's not only bringing up the drawing, it's bringing all external references that might be attached to that. And so all of that needs to be contained in here. So what you're looking at is the fact that that can actually grow exponentially. So be careful with that. Anything else?
Okay, so there was one that actually I may be able to help with here. Can I trace with an Apple Pencil, say sketch a design over an elevation? So yes and no. You can technically use the Apple Pencil as your input device, but you cannot freehand sketch, I believe. James, let me know if I'm wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure you need to use one of the, either a line or polyline, something like that, rather than just freehand sketching. Is that correct, Jim?
To be honest with you, I am not sure, because to me, AutoCAD has always been about straight lines, arcs, and fills. It
Right.
hasn't been about sketching. If I want to do sketching, I go to a sketching app such as Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator or something like that.
Right.
In which case, I would actually bring a PDF and then create a layer and then all the rigmarole of that. I've not tried it, but the person who asked the question, if you try it and it works, please let us know. It would be more than happy to share that with everybody else who has that same question later on. But at this point, I can't answer with that with honestly, other than based on the fact that we're working with lines, I don't think it would be able to do that, but you have to try it. I don't know.
Perfect. Okay. Next one here. Can you show us again how to create a table? We can go through that, Jim, if you'd like, or we will be sending this video out after the webinar as well if they'd like to watch there.
Now, if it's a table from the count, I don't have a problem. But if we're going to go into AutoCAD tables, I'm not going to show that. That is not within part of this demonstration.
Okay.
So please answer that question, and I'll be more than happy to repeat the count table edition.
Perfect. Okay. Next one here is the PC version interface similar to that one that I can download on my iPad
Is the
for the PC app versus the iPad app?
no? You mean this one here?
The one on the iPad,
Well, the
but yeah,
one.
very similar to this one.
I really don't think that you can share those unless you actually can change create a profile and then export the profile. But
No,
you have to remember a couple of things. This is an abbreviated version. It can't have as many tools and as sophisticated tools as AutoCAD has. Okay, so you can't really come back and forth between those tools. AutoCAD has much more because it's a much more hardier version. This AutoCAD Web, I see more of something as an assistant in the field. I need to do a quick markup. I need to understand what's going on, and I need to use some of the tools that AutoCAD gives me. Can I use that? Yes, you can. But as far as making it one look like the other, I at this point I don't think that's quite what they want to do.
right, yeah, I would agree on that. I think that, like Jim said, it's an abbreviated version. It's more for just quick things in the field, not for really having the power that you have on a computer when you're at the office. Okay, next question here. Is the web app available to the users in any device, or is it limited to certain devices? Jim, go ahead on that one. If I can give a little input on that as well.
Everything I've read up until now is that that your web app you can open up on any browser. Okay, you should be able to open it up on Safari. Best thing to do is actually go ahead and try it. The desktop app, the web app, not the web app, but the portable app or the mobile app opens up in both Android and Mac. So that I don't foresee that as a problem. But once again, I do have to make this disclaimer. I am more than anything a PC person. The only Mac I ever touch is actually my phone. So there's a lot of questions on the Mac side that really would be better answered as far as operability would be with Alan to a great extent. But for me, I don't think that should be a problem. But the only way to actually be absolutely sure is to try it.
Yeah, we'd have to do a little more testing to get back to you on that one. But I would say to be safe, just because of typical behavior that I've seen on a web app on a computer is where you're really going to have that maximum level of control and experience. We haven't really done a lot of testing with using the website for the phones, for example, or for an iPad, but in those cases, you do have the apps that you can download directly, which are going to be a better experience anyway. So I would say in general, as far as the web app goes, stick to the computer. As far as mobile devices, download one of the dedicated mobile apps, and that should be your best bet.
If I'm interject, Alan, I think for the mobile devices, to maybe give you a little hope for those of us who maybe want to do it that way. Let's say the iPhones, for the phones, the mobile app. The desktop app you can open up on a browser. That means that you can open it up on an iPad or you can open it up on the Microsoft Razors. Is it Razer? What's the name of that thing?
The Surface.
The Surfaces. So
Yep.
you should be able to open those up in those devices.
Okay. Yep. All right. And any other questions, please send them our way. I'm going to go ahead and read the last one so far. How do you navigate to docs through the web app? To the Autodesk docs. Sorry.
Okay, right here. Look.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
This is the icon. So if it's not there, what you do is you come here and you add it here, just like I added this one earlier. So it's just a matter of, I have a Dropbox account, so I'll go ahead and say add Dropbox. It's going to sign me into my Dropbox, sign in. Don't really want to show that too much, but okay. And there it is, and it's been added. There it is. Simple as that.
Perfect. All right. Can I have you jump back to that PowerPoint, Jim?
Absolutely.
Okay, and let's go ahead and jump to that next slide. Perfect. So we just wanted to briefly touch here on some of the benefits of subscriptions. Keep your subscriptions up to date. Some of the benefits are great technical support, up-to-date software. For example, 2022 came out. As soon as 2022 was available for those with an active subscription, that software is available to you right away. There's no need to upgrade or do anything crazy, but as long as you're on an active subscription, you're able to get that latest version. Flexible term lengths and administrative tools. And if you do have any questions on any of those, always feel free to reach out to our team here, and we'd be happy to help you out answering those questions. Can I have you jump over to that next one, Jim? Okay, so basically in conclusion, we want to thank you all for joining us today. Our blog is live, and you can check that out at the link shown there on the screen, ddscad.com/services/knowledge-center/Autodesk. Training courses are available as well online. We're all online right now due to the pandemic situation, so we are training from home. And lastly, again, in order to receive those credits, please send them over now at info@ddscad.com. And if you have any other questions, call us at 305-445-6480. Yep, and I think that's all we have. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you, Jim, for the presentation, and we'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Be safe.